how weird would it be to see Rey Mysterio not be a face?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking, like,
I don't think I'd believe it.
I just couldn't do it. He just, and I know it's probably because, like, kids love him because, like, he can look them in the eye, but, like, they love Rey Mysterio, right?
A mouthful of drink. I really didn't want to spit everywhere. Oh my gosh.
And welcome back to the Two Words Podcast, where today's two words are good guy. We're talking about the Babyfaces. You have the evil guys, you have the bad guys, you have the heels that really make wrestling fun. But for all bad, you need some good. And so today we're just talking about our favorite good guys, because sometimes the good guy works out and we all want to root for him. And then other times we hope to see him get bludgeoned to death with a kendo stick, like weekly. Like there's just no in between. It's never like, I kind of like this. Like, nope.
Yeah.
I either love you or I want you to be pushed off the top of a building. So who, because, and I was really thinking about this. In the 80s, you had good guys like Hogan and Steamboat, and they were like superheroes, and that made you really like them. And like for guys like that, their good moral standing was part of their character. Yeah. And then in the 90s, there was this shift, and it happened with, the Attitude Era and that sort of thing, but like anti-heroes kind of came on the scene. Yeah. And so good guys like Stone Cold and Roddy Piper, like that were good, but they were good at being bad, kind of thing. So I don't know, who are your favorite, baby faces of all time?
So I have 7 here that are my favorite.
Okay.
Sting and Undertaker.
Okay.
Shawn Michaels / later versions of DX.
Okay.
Mick Foley. John Cena. Hulk Hogan. And of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin. I also put Bryan Danielson down in here.
Okay. So, but here's the thing about a lot of those guys that you mentioned. Like, a lot of those guys that you mentioned were a lot better heels than they were good guys.
I will agree with that, but most of these guys made the name for themselves, at least toward the back half of their career, as being exactly what you said, the anti-hero kind of characters. The characters that maybe weren't always like the big smiling faces. They weren't the John Cenas on TV every week. But when they showed up, you knew it was because they were about to mitigate some justice. Yeah. Yeah. Just think of, Sting being revealed in WWE underneath the vigilante. Underneath that thing that was supposed to be Seth Rollins' statue.
Oh, yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
Like that moment. Those kind of moments. Yeah. Undertaker gongs happening whenever, he's had enough. Stone Cold Steve Austin coming in and helping the Union when he didn't want to be a part of a team and he didn't want to be the leader, this good guy, but finally he's had enough of this junk. He runs down to the ring and, unleashes heck. Yeah. Like that kind of stuff is what really drew people into the characters themselves.
Yeah. I have John Cena on my list as well, and we're going to talk about John Cena probably a lot during this conversation. Hogan was really always a great face. Steamboat, like I've said, Macho Man played a great face character, especially in comparison and in contrast with Jake the Snake. Like they had this it was a very good dynamic. Kurt Angle was always a very good face, but it was always because like he was just so confused about what was like, it was almost like he had a very I don't know, he was naive in his goodness, like the yippee-ki-yay with the little hi-hat, with a little cowboy hat when he was with, I think he was with Stone Cold and whatever, he was trying to get into that group. Yeah, and they would, like that was always,
but that was still a heel group. Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, and Vince McMahon. That was when Stone Cold went weird.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it did make Kurt Angle kind of the babyface of the group.
Yeah. You know, and here's the thing you realize about Hogan though, is that Hogan was a good guy, and he was such a good guy that it made him a better bad guy.
Yes. See,
because it made nobody would have cared. You know, there was always like who was going to be the third man, and like had Sting been the third man in NWO, wouldn't have done anything. Had you know, Nature Boy been, you know, it wouldn't have worked
because he was still slimy.
But Hogan,
the superhero, just like you said,
he was a superhero. He was the closest thing we had to like the greatest human being on earth. And now we know better, but you know, like, you know, that meant that when he turned, like, people lost their minds.
One of the biggest moments in wrestling history.
Oh, 100%.
Just for that fact alone, is that he had been such the hero, such the good guy for so long. To see him turn heel was just impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. Yeah. Unfathomable.
Yeah.
People started throwing chairs.
So what makes us like a baby face?
I really think it's what I mentioned there, is that you can't, it can't just be you're a nice guy. Like what really makes a baby face last is being that kind of reluctant hero. Mm-hmm. It's like, you're a good guy. You're not necessarily a good guy because, you know, you morally want everything, you know, biblical.
Because you're not sleazy, you know? Right.
It's just like you know when too much is too much. Yeah. And you won't let other people get taken advantage of past a certain point. Yeah.
You stand for something. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why John Cena was such a great, because you feel like at least his purpose has always been like, I want to do what's best for the WWE universe.
Right.
You know, that has always been my thing. Which is why I think that he needs to have one heel run, right? He's got to have one. We almost saw it. We almost had it. He had that program with Kane, and Kane was like beating him up, and he, you know, kind of the tides turned, and he had grabbed some steps.
That's right.
And everybody saw it, and we were all just like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then he, like, you know, dropped it and ran off. It's like, if I could see one guy do a heel turn, oh my gosh.
That is the same person I picked. I would love to see John Cena come back with like a Rock level prick attitude, like coming back from Hollywood, being like, I'm so above this now, kind of thing. Yeah. And then just laying people out in the dirtiest fashion. I would 100%. Love it. Love it.
And then I think there are some that, like, they can't be bad guys. Mm-hmm. Because New Day was a heel faction when they showed up.
They started, yeah. And it was so good.
Did not work at all.
It was so good.
It was so bad.
To see them turn to the good side.
Yeah. I mean, like I almost just couldn't even imagine Kofi Kingston being being mean.
Right. Kofi Kingston, you're a jerk.
You're a jerk, Kofi Kingston. So I don't know. I think Big Show was a good heel too, but I think he was.
Which time? Which one of the 50,000 times?
Yeah, I think
he swapped back and forth.
But I think that he was a good. I don't know why we're even talking about him being a good heel.
Heels now, but yeah.
But yeah, but he was a good heel. I think he was another one of those. His good guy moments. Mm-hmm. Made it like when he was doing all the people power stuff when he was working for John Laurinaitis, right, beating up John Cena. It was like you hated to see it because you're like, oh, it's so sad. He was the good guy, and now he's not. he's the gentle giant.
I liked Kane when he had his face runs, especially the run with X-Pac. I think that was great. Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryan in WWE, I think his heel turn that he had, the first one, the no heel turn, didn't work out all that well. And that's why they made it a comedy bit with him and Kane. And that was hilarious. That was fantastic. Now, his run as like the environmental savior heel thing, I think that was better.
He was hard to watch as that heel.
That was better than the original one, but it still wasn't great. He's much more suited for the face, man of the people, underdog kind of guy.
You know, I guess because without that heel run, we would have never gotten the Eric Rowan fake tarantula. And I think that's worth not having to see. Because worth having erased from your memories, you know? I mean, I'm not here to, throw art away, but that was not great.
Then we got like Mick Foley, man. Now, Mick Foley had a couple runs as a heel, like shortly. Like at the beginning, he was kind of a heel. And he came as Cactus Jack at one point, and he was kind of a heelish. But I think him as a person is just too likable, too lovable.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody could see him as a heel after he broke out of his initial shell.
Entirely too wholesome.
I'm still thinking about that promo, that fantastic promo with all three of it's Mankind and Dude Love having a conversation.
They're all sitting down talking to each other.
Talking about how Cactus Jack is the only one that can face Triple H, and Triple H is losing it in the ring. And how we had to believe that Cactus Jack, the same guy, was somehow so much worse than Dude Love or Mankind, and that Triple H would be afraid. Like, no, I didn't sign up to face him. I signed up to face Dude Love.
Yeah.
But like, it was his whole shtick, man. Commissioner Mick Foley for a while. That was fun. I've never gotten tired of Mankind.
He's never let you get tired. Like, he always just kind of backs off when it's a little too much.
He's got a good eye for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, like, how weird would it be to see Rey Mysterio not be a face?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking, like,
I don't think I'd believe it.
I just couldn't do it. He just, and I know it's probably because, like, kids love him because, like, he can look them in the eye, but, like, they love Rey Mysterio, right?
A mouthful of drink. I really didn't want to spit everywhere. Oh my gosh.
Like, he gets on their level, you know?
Oh, you about killed me, John. Jeez Louise. Oh, that was bad.
But, we're getting more anti-heroes now, with like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Even like Jericho's run right now, with AEW, he's still kind of face.
He's always on that anti-hero line.
Oh, we didn't talk. If you seen, this should go in the Hey Yo section, but did you see a clip surfaced of MJF at 5 years old being interviewed on the Rosie O'Donnell show?
That sounds familiar.
He sent in, apparently his like parents or something sent in a video of him singing "You Are My Sunshine," and Rosie O'Donnell was like, "We got to get this kid on the show," and like he's just like, there's this interview, and then he sings it on the Rosie O'Donnell show, and it's
we'll see the next person to feud with him when he's trying to be a big meanie should just play that.
Just play that
what
song.
What happened to you, MJF?
What happened to you, MJF? You were so cute and adorable. Your feet didn't even touch the floor. Yeah.
And then there's some people that just shouldn't be faces.
Yeah.
And that was Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is a terrible face. Miz was always a bad face. Miz has never been a good face.
It should never be face.
Dolph Ziggler's not even really a good face.
He's not a charismatic face. He's
Yeah.
a charismatic heel.
Yeah.
He's not a charismatic face. It's like all of his creativity leaves his body when he's a good guy.
What about face commentators?
No, I didn't even really think about commentators.
How do you think about, like...
They have to have that,
Yeah.
don't they?
Like, one of the grand injustices is when Michael Cole had to become a face commentator. Like, thanks a lot, Jerry Lawler, for having a heart attack on live TV. Because he told us that story. He's like, that right then and there, there's no chance that I can ever say mean things on air again. Like, I just, you broke the character, and now we just have to move on. So, I don't know. I'm trying to even think.
I remember when Jim Ross was always the face.
Yeah.
With Jerry Lawler, except for like one brief period where they decided to turn Jim Ross into this jerk.
Yeah.
And it sounded so weird.
Bad.
I hated it.
Bad. But, well, that's our show for tonight. Oh, do we not have a show? What do you have?
You just blindsided me with we're done.
What? I mean, what else? I feel like the conversation is dying.
I didn't see we put a little bow on anything. Nothing. We're just, all right, bye.
Well, I don't know. Is there? Okay, fine.
Make Bailey face again.
Yeah. No, we need Bailey face again. I didn't even think. I forgot about face, but yeah. Let's bring back the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
It made me so happy. Her entrance made me so happy.
Which apparently you have to have like a permit for in the state of New Mexico to put those out in front of your business.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
apparently. So I'd love to see face Bailey one more time. I don't know. I can't deal with like the mom haircut Bailey. I don't like that. I don't like that. Well,
that's our show.
That's so I'm going to end all my conversations from now. Well, that's it. And just kind of walk out. But no, I guess the bow is that we focus so much on loving the heels that we forget there's got to be a yang to your yin, so to speak. And so hopefully, hopefully that dichotomy can work itself out. I feel like too many guys are trying to go in to be just heels.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's more fun to play the bad guy.
And it is. But that's how you get the women's division that you got, where you got Becky Lynch and Charlotte, and at one point you're like, I don't want either one of them to win.
I don't know.
They're both
who's the good guy
meanies.
here, yeah.
Both meanies.
Yeah,
and then Bianca Belair comes out, and you're like, oh.
The last 3 times Charlotte Flair was supposedly the good guy in the feud, I didn't know.
Yeah. I was very unaware of that. I just thought we had 2 bad guys. 2 bad guys. 2 bad guys. That's a restaurant I'd eat at. Anyway, well, if we missed a good guy, go over to our socials at 2 words LTN and drop us a like or a subscribe wherever you're at, and let us know, hey, John, Matt, but be nice about it, because it's a nice guy comment, so you have to be nice. You can't be like, hey, moron, you forgot Dean Malenko or whatever. I don't know.
Always forget Dean Malenko.
Who doesn't? I always forget that Dean Malenko is not 1,000 years old. Every time we say the name Dean Malenko, I picture an 80-year-old man.
I picture him in black and white.
I picture him in black and white. But anyway, well, can I say it now? Go ahead. Okay, well, that's our show. Thank you guys for joining us. We will be back in a couple of weeks with our season finale.
Yeah.
5 seasons?
And a movie?
5 seasons in a movie.
The 5th season? We talked about this, and then I never
think
looked
it's.
it up
I think
again.
it's the 5th season.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm pumped. And then we'll take a short break, and we'll be back even more 2 words wrestling things. We may have to add a word though, because I'm having a hard time. It might have to become 3 words pretty soon. I'm having a hard time with these titles. But anyway, well, for LTN Radio, my name is John. His name is Matt, and if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.